Hey guys, it's Kelly. So I have a ton of stuff behind me. So this is going to be my February plans and kind of an update on what I've worked on in the last week. I changed up my schedule from the original and my original plans for January, which I talked about in my last video. So just want to show my progress on that and what my plans for February are. And I'm going to kind of do them at the same time because I'd be showing you some of the stuff twice, and that just doesn't make any sense to me. There's one more week for my giveaway. I'm going to pick somebody Friday morning, midday-ish, and I will get in contact with them Friday, and hopefully hear back in time to be able to send out the package Saturday morning. So that'll be really fun. Today is Sunday, and I keep on thinking that it's not Sunday. Like all day yesterday, I thought that it was Sunday. Because I took off Friday to help finish packing, because the tile is starting tomorrow for my last two bedrooms. So tomorrow and Tuesday, tile is going to be being put in my last two bedrooms, and some stuff on the front porch is going to be fixed. So I've been doing that. So took off Friday for that. Saturday the tile was delivered by my dad, and we went and did some stuff in town. There was like a gun show in town, and there was an open house on a house that's shaped like a boot. It's really cool. If you aren't from Texas or near the area, because they've done pieces on this guy like in the Houston Chronicle. So if you're from like the Houston-ish area, you might have heard of this guy. I think his name is Dan Phillips, but he does art houses here in the town that I live. And the last one that just got finished is in the shape of a boot. And next door to it is going to be the shape of a cowboy hat, is the last article that I read. And it's on one of our like main streets going into our historic downtown. So that was pretty interesting to see. Pretty cool. All right, so let's dive in. I also have a magazine to show, which I'll get into that. So let's just talk about February, and I'll show you updates within what I'm planning to do in February, because the 3 updates that I have for this past week are all SALs. So I'm going to hopefully be working on them at some point within the month. That's Potter. And so we'll see how that goes, to be quite honest. So, all right. So the first week of February, from the 1st to the 5th, I am participating in February fandom from Stitch Mania. It's fandom. And so I thought that would be the perfect time to pull out my Harry Potter. So let's just see an update on where I am with this. Please don't have threads in here. Wow, for once I don't have threads packed in. So I've been working more on the outside. I'm trying to get the outside pages taken care of down the one side, and this is where I've gotten to. So I have a good chunk of the bottom finished, and I go this way, this far up the side, so halfway up both sides, and then center is not done. The bottom row half done, and I have the first page and then into some of the second page all the way up to the top. So that's kind of, I'm trying to fill in. I'm gonna fill in these characters and work down this way. So that's where I'm at with my Harry Potter. I like to skip around a lot. I know that some people are doing it and they're literally going just like down the row. I just get bored. And I like skipping around, and that's kind of how I do all my patterns though. So that's where I am with that. So hopefully I'll be able to get rid of the last 2 outer pages for that first side. So hopefully that'll happen. That's going to be the 1st to the 5th. The 6th through the 9th is what I have slated for the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery SAL. And I'll show you how far I got on this. I'm very proud of myself. I don't have to frog very much. I don't. I had a frog on this one. I centered up my fabric, and I found the center of the pattern, but the thing is that the way that I printed it, so I centered it up, and then I centered it up, but I marked it up here and I marked it down here. I didn't mark one spot, so my eye went to the top one. So I started the top half of the box that says Happily Ever After, where the bottom line of the box was supposed to start, which could have totally made me not have enough fabric left if I wouldn't have frogged it, and that's what I was worried about. So I did fix that. I didn't have too much done. I had like 5 of the little bubbles and a line, so not too much, but I was still very disappointed in myself, just because I rarely have to frog, and so I was just kind of like, no, I lost so much work. But I did end up getting, so I started from the bottom of the box and went up and then over, so that way I could do January. And I'm just going to slowly work on the borders. Again, kudos. I've seen so many people are doing the entire border and then starting January. Y'all's work is amazing. Y'all are super fast. I personally just get really bored doing nothing but borders and stuff like that, and like blank spaces. So usually with my SALs, I tend to do the borders and like the smaller details that you get with the first one. For the entire pattern, I kind of tend to do them as I make my way around them throughout the year. So that's kind of probably how I'm going to do this one. But this is how far I did get. So I got January's block finished. And so this is where my original mess up was, but I had the little blips going the other way, like they were on top. So that's, this is how far I got. And I worked on this for 3 days. I think I had 4 days slotted for it, like I do in February. But since I got the January block finished a day early, so in 3 days, I decided to start my linens and threads SAL, which I talked about in my last video that I found for free. And a couple more of y'all, I think, found it and wrote me about it. And I've been on the Facebook group for it, and there are some really, really pretty color changes that some of y'all are making. They're gorgeous. And I saw one person's colorway. She was going to start it. I think she posted it last night, but it goes from like pinks to purples to blues. It's gorgeous. Like the colors that she picked are so pretty. It's a very gorgeous colorway. I've seen some really awesome variegated threads being used. So I'm just really excited to see this because I know that theirs is going to all be in 815 DMC, and I think that's going to be gorgeous because it's going to kind of look like traditional embroidery red work, in my opinion, which I love red work. My first ever embroidery piece way back several years ago, I was in the paper for it. It was to promote our it was to promote our airing of the quilt, but they used my picture and me showing my first ever red work piece, working with one of my Quilt Guild friends, and you know, because they wanted to show that even youngins do it. But that's hanging up in my dad's house, actually. So, but that was what red work was my very first embroidery. So I love that, but I love some of the color variations that y'all are doing. There's one that's really pretty. It's like blue to cream to brown variegated, and it is gorgeous. There are a few where the bird is its own color and like the wheel part is its own color and then everything else is its own color. I think those are gorgeous. So it's going to be really cool to see with the next month, because it's really cool to see everybody's January with all the different styles everyone's doing. But I think it'd be really cool in February because I don't know at this point if some of the people using the variegated threads, are you going to use that variegated through the whole pattern? Or are you going to do different variegateds for each month like I'm doing? Same thing with those that gave like a bird a certain color and, you know, they made certain items in January a certain color. Are you going to change? Are you going to use the same colors but pick certain things, you know, in February's band? I don't know. I'm excited to see. So that's going to be a really fun SAL for me, and you'll get to see it here in a minute where I'm at with it because I'm still working on that one today. It takes a long time, and you're going to kind of see the path that I went with mine. I wanted to kind of see how tall January's was going to be. So I kind of like started and I went down and over, and then I'm filling it in. And so I'm kind of going about it weird, but I do that with all my patterns. So anyways, this is where I'm starting out for February, and I already know that February's block is the Heidi block. That is the block that made me buy the pattern. It's one of my favorites of all time. So I'm really excited for Wednesday whenever the Heidi block comes out. You have no idea. All right. So that's my Frosted Pumpkin SAL. This video is going to be long. I promise. It's going to be long. All right. So day 10 through the 13th is going to be Whimsical Winter. That's the second month of the Whimsical Winter quarter, but the third month of the quarter won't be until December because that's a winter month, at least in America. So that's kind of fun. I don't have it kitted. I don't have it kitted yet. I do have the pattern printed out, and I'm going to do it on white Aida. I haven't really decided if I want to do it on 16 or 14 count, but I have both in my stash of plain white Aida. I'll probably end up doing it on 16, but I just need to pull the colors for that, and I'm really sorry that I don't have that pulled. Let me look it up really fast, and I'll show you what it looks like, because I feel a little bad that I don't have it pulled at this point. It's by Stitchrovia or Emma Congdon. It's a really cute pattern. If I can find it, here it is. So this is the pattern. It's really, really, really cute. It's beautiful, like scroll writing. And then Santa up in his sled with his reindeers and a little town down below with dropping presents. It's a really cute, gorgeous pattern with lots of really bright, bold colors. On Instagram, I've seen a lot of y'all doing the pattern. I love seeing everyone's progress. I check Stitchrovia tags all the time. I do not know if that was in a magazine or not. I kind of feel like it was, but I'm not 100% for sure on that. So that's going to be the 10th through the 13th for Whimsical Winter. It's going to be Santa's Coming to Town. The 14th is Valentine's Day, and since I will probably be spending it with my cats and my dog, true story, I decided to make that my randomly titled day of Love Stitch, and I'm going to work on Emma Congdon or Stitchrovia's Key to My Heart, and that's this one right, or no, not Key to My Heart, Locked on You. What is this thing called? What is the real pattern called? It's called Key to My Heart. Why did I call it Locked on? I don't know. It originally came out in the Just Cross Stitch magazine, I believe. This was back whenever I could, Cross Stitcher in February of 2015. This was back whenever, if you bought the pattern off through the app, you could print out the pages. They took that feature away. There's a video about it previously. But this is the pattern as a whole. It's now to buy on her Etsy site. I love this pattern. It's supposed to be, the original colors are a dark and a light gray. I'm doing mine on sparkly fabric, and I changed the colors from dark and light gray to a dark pink to a lighter pink. So this is how far I am on Key to My Heart. It's beautiful. I don't know where I got that name. I don't know where I got to that name. Oh, this is why on my project bag it's called Locked on You. In the magazine, it was called Locked on You. So if you have the February 2015 magazine, in the magazine it is called Locked on You, but she renamed it for her Stitchrovia site, and it is called now Key to My Heart. So that's why, very confusing. I wrote Key to My Heart in my planner, but my kit says Locked on You. Makes sense now. So if you're looking for that pattern, if you have the magazine, look for it under Locked on You. And if you want to buy the pattern and go to her Etsy shop, it's called Key to My Heart. So just beware of that. Color of the day is Amethyst for February birthdays, and I'm going to bring out my giant Harry Potter again because it's on purple amethysty looking fabric. It happens. All right. The next day was supposed to be a new start, but I'm going to work on my linens. This is a lot of fabric, guys. I'm going to work on my linens and threads. I'm going to put something behind this really fast. I'm going to work on my linens and threads. This is how far I am at the moment. You can kind of see that it's variegated thread. This is definitely a brighter part of the thread, and this is darker up in here. But this thread doesn't have like an intense color change, so it's very subtle, and I really like that. Some of the other ones are going to be way more noticeable and intense of a color change, but I really like this one. So this is how far I am on my linens and threads mystery SAL. So that'll be on the 16th. This is just so much fabric to work with. The 17th through the 19th is my weekend whip where I was going to work on my key. I might change the dates a little bit. I might use Friday to work more on my linens and threads mystery SAL, and only do my weekend whip for Saturday and Sunday for Locked on You, Key to My Heart, whatever you want to call the heart key pattern. So we'll see, because this pattern is very simple, and it's a quick, it goes kind of fast, but at the same time it's massive. And I don't know how thick of a band February's is going to be, and I want to at least get part of February stitched. So I may not get to finish all of January, but I'll work a little bit more on January's band and probably start a little bit of February's, just to see how those colors play out, and to just see the placement of everything, because I'm just curious and I just want to see it. So we'll see how that goes. But that's going to be that weekend. I'm going to work a little bit more on linens and threads, mystery SAL, and a little bit more on Key to My Heart. The 20th through the 22nd, I'm going to work on my Quotes to Live By SAL, and I did get a little bit further on it than I did in my last video. I think, perhaps not. I might, no, I don't know. I'll let you see, and I don't remember. So this is stitched on Fabrics by LJ, 16 count. But this is how far I got in total. So I don't remember if I had less of it done in my last video or not. I honestly just can't remember. But this is how far I am. I absolutely love this, and I cannot wait. This is another one that I cannot wait until Wednesday. All three of my SALs, I'm just so excited about them. This one, very much especially. I just cannot wait to see what the next quote is going to be on Wednesday. I'm looking forward to it so much. I cannot wait to purchase it and get the opportunity to stitch more on this. So my goal in those 3 days is going to be finishing up this quote and doing the next quote and working more on the title. I have up to the corner of the outside border. Again, that's going to be something that I'm going to work on throughout the months of getting this complete, and I'm going to work on the title a little bit every month as well to get that finished and make sure to get the quotes finished. I was so concentrated up here that I have a little bit left to do around here, a lot of like back stitching. So I got most of it finished. I just have most of the back stitching done and to fill in the cream color in here. And then obviously the word quotes needs to definitely be done. So lots of work still left to do to kind of make this feel kind of caught up, but this is such a fun stitch. It goes really fast. I absolutely love it, and I honestly cannot wait to see what the next quote is going to be, and I think there's a lot of people that feel the same way as me. This is another one that I don't quite have kitted. I haven't pulled the threads. I think I have this printed. I don't know if I have this printed or not. I haven't looked. I feel very unprepared for this video, but I've been packing things and I felt like filming. So it is going to be on 14 count Picture This Plus moss. This is a 1/8 cut. So this is moss. It's very pretty. I got this color to kind of go along with all of my other animal Satsuma Street patterns, like my cat and my black cat and my cat in the garden. They're very vibrant background colors, so I wanted a very vibrant background color for this one. So the 23rd through the 25th, I'm doing the Mardi Gras stitch along, and for Mardi Gras, if you aren't familiar, it's a Louisiana thing, primarily, and we celebrate it down here really hardcore in Galveston, Texas, but you know, you eat king cake, and if you get the baby, you have to make the king cake the next year. But king cake is really good, by the way. But you're supposed to stitch on anything purple, gold, and green. So I'm going to be stitching Good Morning by Satsuma Street, and let me look that up for you really quick as well, because I'm really excited about this. I just think he is darling. So his name is, the pattern's name is Good Morning, and this is by Satsuma Street. You can tell by her, the way that the colors are laid out in geometric shapes with bright colors. There's only a little bit of green in this pattern, and it's more of an olivey green. So I thought that it would look kind of okay. It would look okay on this fabric. And even if it doesn't look super amazing on this fabric, there isn't as much green as there is other colors. So I feel like it'll be okay. But I'm going to be working on Good Morning for Mardi Gras because, as you can tell, there's purple and green and like yellows and golds and things in there. So very good Mardi Gras themed pattern that I have not kitted. I'm like slacking so bad right now. All right, the last 3 days of the month, the 26th through the 28th, is my Halloween stitch along. And for February, I wanted to work on my Ouija board. So for those 3 days, I'm going to be working on stitching up more letters on my Ouija board. This is where I'm at with that. The letters take almost no time. It's more of these blocks of colors around the edges. So I almost have the entire bottom half of the Ouija board finished. So if I could at least get, you know, from the T over and down finished, I would be super happy. But obviously my goal is to get way farther than that. But to at least get the bottom finished, I would be very proud of myself for that. So that's going to be the end of the month with my Ouija board. Left this month is my Halloween town. I'm going to be working on that tomorrow and Tuesday while I'm at home with the tilers, and I will post an update of that after the very beginning of February. So the last thing that I wanted to show is the Cross Stitcher magazine from November of 2016. I'm pretty sure I made a video about this, or I talked about it previously in a video about the Cross Stitcher. I'm banned from liking or commenting on photos or posts on their Facebook group, because back whenever they switched publishers, over a year ago to like Dylan Publishing or whatever, the app automatically updated on my phone, and 3 weeks later we were sent out an email saying, don't update your app or you're gonna lose your previous purchases, because we switched publishers. They didn't send it before all of the apps updated. So somebody had posted that they had tried customer service to figure out how they could get their previous purchases or refunded for them, etc., etc. And I said, I'm having the same issue because customer service just kept on telling me to call during business hours. And I told them I'm from America, not the UK. I can't just call you, you know, at midnight, which would be your business hours. It was this big catastrophe, and I bought a few magazines off of the new from the new publisher on the new version of the app, and they had taken away the ability to print out the pages. So there was no way for me to effectively or efficiently actually stitch the pages. So I bought the magazine and wouldn't be able to use it, whereas previously, before it was Dylan Publishing, I could. So I got very frustrated, and I also no longer have a bookstore in town where I can purchase it. The next bigger town over, that bookstore clothes that used to carry it. So now the closest one is about 45 minutes away, depending on traffic. So, very exciting. But I wanted to do the magazine mashup. I forget what month it is. But there's a magazine mashup that I wanted to start this for. And I don't remember whatever it is. But I wanted to do the Emma Congdon Christmas pudding pattern because I have her Victoria sponge that you've seen. And I also have her pancakes pattern. So this is the next of her recipe patterns, and I really wanted it. And I wanted to be able to do this for the, oh my gosh, magazine mashup. My friend lives closer to bookstores that stock these magazines, and she went in December and was able to find 2. I went a couple weeks ago because I really wanted the February one that just came out, and they didn't have it yet. But they had like 7 of January's, and unfortunately I didn't really like anything in January's from the pictures that I've seen, so I didn't go ahead and get one. But whenever I went in December, or at the end of November, I went in, and they still had some of September and October's. And then I went in December at the beginning of the month, and they had none of November's, and they didn't have any of December's yet either. So at where I go to sometimes try and get this magazine, it's very hit or miss. They sometimes either have a ton of them, or they have back months, which they aren't supposed to have, which won't go there. So sometimes I just cannot find what I'm looking for. So my friend sent this to me because she found it. So I just wanted to show you, I looked through this earlier today, and I just wanted to show you the patterns that I'm interested in this. The magazine is laid out a little bit differently than before, which I totally understand, but I feel like there's less patterns in the magazine now. Am I the only one that feels this way? But this is the pattern as a whole, and it's I just love her patterns like this. I think they're great. I've actually made the Victoria sponge pattern before, but it's 4 pages, 2 big ones, 2 tiny ones. There was 1 or 2 more that I thought was kind of cute. The next one that I really like is called Joy Noel, and it is this one. Very, very pretty. I really, really like this, so that will be one that I will possibly stitch up at some point. Let's see. Maybe there are a lot of patterns in here. Maybe it's just me. I'm just used to more of a certain, they've probably changed their style up a little bit, which is very understandable. I haven't had one of these in a long while. I somewhat like this, all the trimmings, this little town that they've for this made into a tablecloth. But I probably wouldn't do that, but I would probably stitch this up 1 time. Very cute little pattern. Pretty simple looking. And then all the rest are like littler things that I just don't like really they just aren't my taste. But And then I find it weird that there's now a Sudoku in the back of the book. Maybe that's me. But, so this I'm definitely going to be using for the pudding and possibly this more Nordic looking Noel pattern as well. That is pretty much all that I have for you today. One other thing that I've been wanting to start is a temperature something or another. I really want a temperature blanket, but I just cannot crochet. My hands just are not going to allow that. So we found, somebody posted that they were doing temperature flowers. They linked it to the original Facebook group, which is in French, so I can't read majority of it. And I was able to navigate through links to the pattern PDF, and I think it's called, it's either Tom and Lily or it's either Tom or Tim and Lily Creations. And they have a blog, and if you go enough down, you'll find the PDF link, but you have to kind of guess what French words mean. But this is supposed to be enough for all of the days of the year, and I kind of laid out like a direction that they would go. But somebody else posted the other day that they're taking this concept of the flowers and they're making it more look like road garden. And so I kind of want to see what hers is going to look like, but I want to do something like that temperature wise at some point this year. I want to start that. So it probably won't be in the next few months, but whenever I have a couple months worth of data, or I already have, sadly, like a color alignment that I would want, and I have been keeping track of the temperatures. I'm doing average temperature just because that would probably be more accurate to the temperature here. So I have been keeping track of it. I just haven't decided how exactly I want to stitch it. So I've been working on figuring that part of that out. But something will happen temperature color wise this year. So that's pretty exciting. I think that's about it. Thank you for everyone who has so far entered the giveaway. I greatly appreciate it. Y'all have some really good questions. Whenever I pick the winner, which is going to be randomized by a random number generator, on Friday morning to midday, and contact the winner and get it sent out, I'm going to make a video answering y'all's questions, so and announcing who won and stuff like that, and doing a small update. But I kind of wanted that to be part of entering the giveaway. One, for y'all to tell me y'all's favorite patterns, because some of y'all know about patterns and other things that I've never heard of before, and some of them I had to look up. So that was really fun to see. I basically wanted it for exposure to more designers and patterns that are available, and just to know like what everybody else is into, because my style is probably very different from somebody else's. So I just wanted to kind of get a feel for that, and to get exposed to the names of different designers and things like that, so that way whenever because I need more patterns, whenever I decide to get some more patterns, that could be, some of those will be something that I could look at and see if I would also be interested in trying out one of those patterns as well. And I just thought the questions would be fun, because y'all have asked some really good questions, and I can't wait to answer them for y'all. And so that will be coming up next weekend, and I hope that y'all are having a great last few days of January. I know everyone is so excited about the release of all the SALs on Wednesday. I know that a lot of people are excited for Cloudsfactory. Even though I'm not stitching that one and it's not really my cup of tea for an SAL, I am still really excited to see the next 2 famous women that they picked for their stitch along. You already know I'm incredibly excited for the Quotes to Live by SAL release by Emma Congdon for Mind UK. I'm really excited for the Heidi Square by Frosted Pumpkin. And I really am very intrigued and interested to see what the next band in the Linens and Threads Mystery SAL is going to be, and to kind of like start working on that. So very exciting SALs this year. I know that other people are in Lakeside Needlecraft still that started a couple months ago. I know that there's one about insects and like a mystery town, and there's some really good SALs out there this year. So it's really fun to see which ones y'all are working on, which ones y'all are excited about. So I know everybody is just really excited. Earlier today on Facebook, somebody posted on the Frosted Pumpkin group, holy crap, the next one gets released in like 2 days. So people are very excited about this year's SALs, which I think is really great because I am as well. And apparently I just keep on adding more to my list. So we'll see how that works out and how my sanity stays up. If you aren't already a part of this, but you want to be on Instagram, in Stitch Mania, somebody wanted to start a hashtag 365 days of cross stitch. So it's hashtag the number 365 days of cross stitch, spelled out, all one hashtag, no spaces, no underscores or anything. And so that's been really fun. So I have posted a cross stitch picture every single day, except for I think 1 day in January. So it's been really fun. And I sometimes I click on the hashtag and I look at the people participating, all their photos. So it's just really cool to send like a little snap of what you've been working on that day. Great pattern exposure that way as well, or just ideas for possibly a pattern that you're also working on for color changes and things like that. Somebody recently asked me how I decide to do color changes, and I honestly said sometimes it just depends on the fabric, if it's going to clash, or wherever I envision possibly putting it, is it going to clash? Because I have some brightly painted walls. So, like I have a lime green kitchen, and so I have some brightly painted walls and things like that. So sometimes I have to change some of the colors up depending, so that way it doesn't clash too much with where I want to put it. So it's stuff like that, just more exposure to different things. So if you're on Instagram, I highly recommend going to the search and typing in 365 days of cross stitch, all one word, and checking that out. And if you're posting pictures of your cross stitches throughout the months on your Instagram, just adding that hashtag to the end, because it is really cool and really fun to be a part of it. And yeah, so this is probably my longest video. I hope it wasn't too long for some of y'all. I just had a lot to show you and talk about. So anyways, I will be with y'all in about a week for the giveaway and answering questions. And if you see this and haven't seen the giveaway, it is my FlossTube number 60. Go watch it. Enter it if you're interested in what's being given away. It's 2 kits, a frosted pumpkin pattern, hand-dyed thread, and Ada from me, 2 different size spring tension hoops, some bowen needles, and a Texas surprise. I think that's everything. There might be one more item. I honestly cannot remember at the moment. Sorry. It's open to anyone. So go check out that video and enter if you haven't already. You have until the morning of February 3rd. It's a Friday. And hopefully that'll get picked and mailed out by the next day. So have a good one. I'm going to be watching movies and living in construction for the next 2 days. So I will talk to y'all later. Bye, guys.